America's workforce. Its strength is our nation's success. Join I Build America podcast as we explore innovative solutions and inspiring stories from leaders and workers shaping America. Discover actionable insights to build a motivated workforce.
I Build America.
Hello, I'm Lorraine Lane with I Build America podcast, where we highlight the people, places, and organizations that support workforce development in the United States. Today, I have the privilege of interviewing Liza Ochsendorf from Upstate New York, I'm told. She is the Director of Workforce Development in Warren County, New York. Hi, how are you doing, Liza?
I'm well. How are you today, Lorraine?
Good. I wanted to make it a point to say Upstate New York.
Yes, ma'am.
Didn't want any problems. Want to start this off just right. So tell us about how your journey led you into workforce development.
Yeah, it's funny how the universe kind of has a plan for us, even if we have a different plan. So I worked in education in Washington, D.C. for 14 years at a public boarding school. Mm-hmm. So I really feel like that was workforce development too, because education is. And we were preparing young people for success in college and beyond, but also really teaching the life skills and character education. And when I got burnt out from city life in 2019, moved upstate to my peaceful place. And I thought I wanted to work in higher ed, but nothing panned out.
Okay.
I landed in government 5 months before COVID hit.
I was about to say, yeah.
So I had time to get my feet wet and then address the workforce crisis in 2020.
So I want to go back to something you said in D.C., a public boarding school.
Yes.
I didn't know there was such a thing.
Yeah.
I always think private boarding school.
Yep. So, and that was really the reason why the founders wanted there to be a public boarding school, so that not only certain youth would have an opportunity at a boarding school education.
So now I see why you said that really was starting workforce development, because workforce has always tended to reach out to the underserved as well as those who have some missed opportunities. So yeah, you started way before you realized what you were doing, huh?
And the other thing, when you talk to any educator, they say there's never enough hours in the day.
True.
And at a boarding school, you have more time. You have after school programming. You have opportunities to do exposure and the character education.
And what was the grades?
So at that time, it was 6th through 12th, and now they are 9th through 12th. And there are 4 of those seed schools, SEED, across the country: Washington, D.C., Baltimore, Miami, and L.A.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm definitely learning something.
Definitely made me who I am.
Good.
And I give them credit.
So in your career, many professionals experience a mentoring program or someone that's mentored them. What type of work are you doing that provides mentorships, either with your coworkers so that we're creating more professionals, or with the young adults that you serve?
Excellent question.
Thank you.
Since I worked in education, my passion will always be young people.
Mm-hmm.
And we know that many young people don't have enough adult role models in their lives.
Correct.
So any way that we can connect young people, and it doesn't have to be, middle school, high school, it can also be college students or people in trades programs with older mentors, we try to make that connection as much as possible. Because young people can be walking by a business and not know what's going on behind those doors or who works there. And I love working with chambers of commerce, the schools, and businesses to try to make those connections in as many different ways as possible.
I was going to ask you, what work geographic do you reach out to make those?
Well,
go ahead.
Yeah, no. I didn't want to cut you off.
Oh, no, I was going to say, and how do you do that? Some schools, I'm with the Job Corps program, and we do, guest speakers and things like that, work-based learning. So are you internships with your organization, or how are you making those connections?
I'm really proud that our school job fairs don't look like other job fairs.
Tell me about this.
So in our Glens Falls High School job fair, which we do every spring, we do job fairs preparing for the tourism season. We have a DJ in the gym with summer employers who are hiring teenagers only. And then we have industry speakers in classrooms where students have choice to go around and see who they want to hear speak. Because we know young people don't get a lot of choices. We want to give them choice as much as possible. And this year we focused on alumni of that school coming to present in classrooms. So a dozen of the speakers in the classrooms were alumni of that school who walked those same halls as those students.
I really like what you're saying. The whole DJ thing took it to a different level for me. And it seems youth-centric.
Right, exactly. And I don't assume that all businesses know how to engage with teenagers.
Very good point.
So there are incentives. The businesses are actually competing for the most popular tables. The students are voting on their favorite tables. And it forces the students to go up to the tables because they have to vote with tickets. And then we get other businesses to donate prizes. So the most engaging table at the job fair, that business representative might get a dinner gift certificate to a local business.
That is very innovative.
And then the last thing I'll say, because there's an incentive for the students too.
Really?
If they get a job from that job fair, they're also entered into a raffle to win prizes at the end of May.
I need to make sure I watch this because I need this innovation for myself. That is really cool. That is really good. Young people face a different workforce than, let's say, what you and I faced. How do you kind of told me a little bit about the different employers that you have come? How do you prepare them for this workforce? AI, everybody's, talks about AI, and I don't necessarily see AIs taking away jobs as I do in creating a generation that knows how to operate within the AI system and knows how to use AI to be a better employer, more productive employer. So how are you facing those challenges with young people?
Yeah, I'm privileged that I get to work with New York State Department of Education on figuring that out, right? The portrait of a graduate. What do they need to have when most of the future jobs actually don't exist today? So how are we preparing youth for jobs that don't exist yet?
I had to sit with that for a second.
Right. So if you think about all the content creators that we know now, there weren't that many of them.
There was
10
nothing
years
like
ago.
that when I was.
Exactly. And so internet changed the way we work, like with email, and then social media created more jobs, and AI is going to be doing the same thing. So what we encourage educators to do is incorporate technology as much as possible.
Okay.
But we know we still need a lot more regulations around AI. But the number one thing we hear from businesses, their complaint about the younger generation, is that they're missing the professional skills, or what some people call soft skills, which I hate that term. But so we encourage everybody who's working with young people to also instill those employability or professional skills, communication, problem solving, teamwork, etc. So, and then they'll be successful in those industries, whatever they are.
I like that. Do you think social media has in some way stumped the problem solving skills?
Oh, there's so many things that have stumped the problem-solving skills and critical thinking.
Right.
We could go all the way back to No Child Left Behind in the 90s, where it was just about test scores and not about learning and critical thinking. So there's, technology.
You went back there.
I did. Even though I love the 90s.
So do I. So what are some of those youth engagement strategies that you use or that you would recommend?
Yeah, Lorraine, the relationship building is key. Kids don't learn from people they don't like.
Absolutely not.
And we don't teach or do this work to be liked, but you want to make sure that you're connecting with young people. So you're meeting them where they're at. So that's number one, and understanding what their interests are. But also, kids have skills that they don't know yet.
Elaborate.
Right. And we need to help them pull out those skills, the innate skills or the gifts and talents they have. If I'm a young person who's never been exposed to coding, then I don't know I'm good at it.
True.
And so I think it's our responsibility to expose them to those opportunities, see when that light bulb clicks, and then continue to use their strengths instead of focusing on their weaknesses.
Are you doing any work with the public school system in your district?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Because I was going to ask, how do you bridge that gap? I think not everybody makes that connection between, let's say, workforce development systems and education.
Yeah.
And that there is definitely a line that should be crossed between the two. So how are you bridging that gap?
Well, we're fortunate that there is starting to be more of an emphasis on workforce development, career and technical education in New York State. But certainly some school districts have more funding than others.
Okay.
And so larger districts can provide more opportunities.
All right.
But we still at least try to get into the schools and whatever their goals are. I'm not going to tell a school what their goals should be.
Right.
I want to support what they would like to see happen because they know their faculty are already wearing 7 hats.
Absolutely.
So I have a staff member who maintains those relationships with in school youth and the faculty at those schools.
Does the school system, is it receptive? Is it?
Yeah, I mean, some use us more than others.
Okay.
And that's
All right.
okay. That's
All
okay.
right.
We're just grateful for all partnerships.
I agree. What would you want an employer to know about our youth, the students that we serve?
People talk a lot of trash about Gen Z and Gen Alpha, but I actually really admire them in a lot of ways.
Tell me why.
So they don't settle.
True.
Whereas we've been taken advantage of, I feel like, over time and worked to death. And they know what they want. And because there's a people shortage, they can actually negotiate for what they want. They also are really creative. They value diversity. They accept people for who they are, and they like to have a voice. And I love that about Gen Z and Gen Alpha. And I'm excited for them entering the workforce, even though some of the older generations are not as excited sometimes.
Yeah, I facilitated a training not too long ago on understanding the various generations and how they learn and being accepting of, what was big for me in high school. It's no more. Nobody's doing that. Nobody's playing Pong anymore in high school, but to be able to embrace a Gen Z or Alpha Gen, that was new for me as well today. I'm learning a lot doing this podcast thing. Embrace what they bring to the table. Yeah. And sometimes that is a challenge when you're crossing different generations.
Totally. And every generation, generally speaking, has something different to offer.
Absolutely.
But also different values.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
And that is okay.
Yeah.
So let's go to a subject that you and I talked about briefly, apprenticeship, because it is the national movement right now.
It is.
What I worry about and what I heard you voice is we really don't understand it yet.
Yeah.
And we're trying to embrace it, but we don't understand it. What work is your organization doing towards apprenticeship work?
Yeah, I think it really looks different in every state for registered apprenticeships. And then there's, unregistered or informal apprenticeships. Some people understand the term and what it means, and some people don't. It's really earning while you learn, and then it leads to a job.
Absolutely.
Which is different than an internship. But in some states and regions, there are certain factors that you have to meet in order to qualify as an internship.
Okay.
And then the process can take a while for the paperwork with the business, the onboarding of the trainee. Okay. And sometimes I worry that 4 to 8 months down the road, you're going to lose the interest. So in a lot of places, it takes too long to get going. And I think as workforce development professionals and working with the private sector businesses, as well as our labor departments in our respective states, we have to figure out how to make it a smoother, faster process to hold on to people.
Absolutely.
And help those apprenticeship process and programs grow.
Because our youth workers not that patient with.
Oh, no.
They're not going to wait that long. You are definitely
very short
going to lose them. I know we briefly kind of talked about AI. How's it changing your landscape, even in the training providers that you have?
I think a lot of people are worried about AI, but I'm not.
Why not?
Well, if you look at how social media impacted us, and then we started to see how it impacted young people, and now we're clawing it back. So other countries are starting to not allow young people on social media. I think it'll be like that with AI too.
Okay.
But I think where we have these demographic changes and boomers retiring every day, 10,000 boomers a day across our country retiring. We're going to need technology to help us. And I don't think it's going to replace all the jobs, but it's going to make us more efficient. And it's going to help us deal with some of those employment gaps.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I like what you said about, we've got to be prepared at 10,000. Now that I didn't realize.
Yeah.
10,000 a day, you said?
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of gaps.
Yeah.
Even when we talk about training providers for workforce development, there are industries that are just really going to be hit hard or already. Everybody kind of talks about the construction industry, being one that does not have enough workers in the pipeline, and getting our youth trained as well as wanting to be a part of that. So it's going to take the collaboration, not with just workforce development programs, but schools, especially community colleges, to work together to fill these gaps. That's a real thing. So what does a successful collaboration look like?
Well, I think, and this is something that was talked a lot about at this conference this week, everybody's got to be on the same page. Because what we need for performance outcomes is different than maybe what a business wants or needs.
Correct.
So we have to make sure that we're all on the same page about what the goals are. We have to leverage all available resources, especially as funding is getting cut substantially at the federal level. And the communication. If we don't have effective and efficient communication with one another and all of our stakeholders in our community, we're not all on the same page. We're moving in different directions, and then we'll end up with different outcomes.
Agreed. I just finished speaking with another gentleman, and we were talking about, what does that collaboration look like from an employer stance, and not making sure that not duplicating services.
Yeah.
Because that's where we lose. We only got $5.
Right.
And you got $5 and I got $5. And we're spending $10 on the same service. We're not being smart about our funding and understanding we're not competitors.
No.
I'm not competing against you.
Right.
Excuse me. Working in Job Corps, I'm not your competitor.
Yeah.
I'm really trying to meet the same need of the community as you are.
Right.
With just different clienteles. Can you tell me about a success story that you had?
Oh,
always makes the listener and the viewer feel good.
So many.
Nice.
I will say that sometimes with federal and state money, there's regulations about who needs those services and who's getting them. You know? And a lot of times it's lower income or disadvantaged populations. But we need those college students too, who are middle or upper class maybe. And so I really use other resources to also put college students into local internships.
Okay.
At our county government, at local businesses or organizations, at our Chamber of Commerce, because when they're done with college, I need them to come back to our community.
Got it.
And they are more likely to do that if they have a connection.
Correct.
And so when I'm hearing from, like, one of them just graduated college this weekend, and he is moving back to our area from Baltimore.
Okay.
And he will be on his job search, career search, really. And I'm more confident that he'll stay local.
Nice.
Yeah.
Because there is something about when you train all the talent, then all the talent leaves, then you're really helping out the next state over and not taking care of your own. Right. So that's a very good point. One word that best describes, in your opinion, future workforce.
Oh, I don't want to give you a boring word because they are not boring. Gritty.
Gritty.
Yeah.
Something good about grit.
Yeah. And gritty is different than resilience.
Yes.
So to be gritty, you've got to still be persevering, reaching your goals. You think about the young people that had to go through COVID and isolation and, everything that technology, social media, anxiety, bullying, all of that is giving them. And they are still working towards achieving their goals and wanting to set their own path. And so I think the next generation of workers is gritty.
I'm going to add something to that. Not only did they go through COVID, but if you were dealing with an underserved kid, they were dealing with food insecurities, housing,
trauma, abuse.
And they still wake up every morning and come to our programs. So I think I'm going to get a t-shirt that says, I got grit.
Yes.
That's, I mean, because that is one good word when you're talking about gritty. I like that.
And just a plug to, or a shout out to Queensbury Middle School in upstate New York. We helped them start a grit club, girls represented in trades.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
You are really dropping some nuggets on
We
this.
love getting creative and supporting young people. So, I share that because anybody else can do that anywhere. Ideas are free.
Absolutely.
Unless they're patented or trademarked.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and start it before you decide to your grit. Finish this sentence. Workforce development matters because
workforce development is economic development and it's also community development.
All right. You ready for the fun rapid questions? Yeah. All right. Coffee or tea in the morning?
Oh, tea drinker. I love the smell of coffee, but I'm a tea drinker.
I think you're my first for the day. Early riser or late night worker?
I'm a night owl.
Really? Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. And what songs in your playlist?
Ooh, everything.
Favorite?
I'm going to see Teddy Swims in a couple weeks, and
I really like him.
Love Teddy Swims.
That voice, gritty.
Yes,
that
gritty.
Voice is gritty
and unique.
Very unique. I enjoy him. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in to I Build America podcast. Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate it. No, this was wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the I Build America podcast. Please subscribe, share, and comment, and be sure to join us next time for more insights and inspiring conversations on building a powerful American workforce. I Build America, building workforce success one podcast at a time.